What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Timeless Cup practice videos. In this video I'm going to be taking some brutal losses. These first matches are against my friend J. Robin Stacks, and he always gives me some really intense practice. I'm trying out this line of 6 right here. I switched in Whiscash instead of Gastrodon or Milotic, just trying to see how it feels, but the more and more I practice, the more and more I realize that I am getting wrecked by Meganium teams. Even when I bring in Blaziken and Venomoth as like pretty solid checks to Meganium, because of Meganium's bulk, it almost always draws a shield, and then I end up in a disadvantage and end up losing. So you're going to see a lot of matchups here where I definitely make some mistakes and I make some wrong shielding calls, but I'm really beginning to think that I might have to revamp my team a little bit, purely to just keep Meganium in check. And I'm definitely considering actually running Meganium as my starter Pokemon, especially with more and more double dragon and double ice strategies still out there. Meganium is just so bulky and can even hold its own against the dragon types, which is just insane. So we'll see. Well, let's check out some of these matchups. Horrible scenario right there. I got to get my Venomoth on this Meganium. I'm going to be able to land this Silver Wind, which is really good. This should almost take the Meganium out. It does. Silver Wind does a lot of damage. He's got his Venomoth in the back, so one confusion is going to be able to take out this Venomoth. So I end up winning this first match. So at least the video starts off with a win, but it goes downhill pretty quickly here. You can see, yeah, Whiscash, Lapras, and Victory Bell, they're going to lose to Meganium because my Victory Bell is running Acid Spray instead of Sludge Bomb. And Meganium also like has a decent matchup against Dragonair and even Blaziken. If it can land that Earthquake against the Blaziken and against Dragonair, it seems like you can just go straight Frenzy Plant and you're going to still have a decent scenario out of it. So this is not the best matchup at all. Venomoth against Whiscash. Those Mud Bombs are only going to be doing neutral damage because of my Bug and Poison typing. Try to get the bait there. Totally failed. Puts me in even a worse position here. I believe I am in Mud Bomb range. I should have committed a shield here to try to get off that Silver Wind to at least equalize out the shields. Huge mistake on my part. Not great at all, because neither of these Pokemon, Whiscash or Lapras, are going to be able to come in and like do a significant amount of farming. It's debatable. I could have possibly brought in Lapras, but oh my goodness, he lands the Blizzard there too as well. And I still have 2 shields. This is going to be another Mud Bomb. He's just putting on insane shield pressure right now. So I did not shield the Blizzard. Huge mistake. And now I'm stuck in this scenario where his Whiscash forced out another shield because I had so much energy banked up. I do get my Lapras on his Dragonair, which is super good, but I'm down a shield, and he gave up the switch priority there, but again, I'm down a shield. I correctly shield the Dragon Pulse, which is really good. And at this point, I don't know whether or not I should fully commit to farming or throw the Surf to try to burn a shield, because he's going to get an Aqua Tail off. I know I'm going to resist it, but even those couple more Dragon Breaths really did work to me. He's still got 2 shields, so I'm hoping my Lapras can start burning some stuff. But out comes Meganium, the bane of my existence, man. Meganium just has been wrecking me. If I would have went for the straight up Skull Bash there, maybe would have been a slightly different outcome, but highly unlikely. A Meganium with 2 shields is going to destroy Whiscash and Lapras, so very bad. Huge mistake on my part not shielding the Blizzard, and it just put him at such a significant advantage. The more and more I lose to Meganium teams, the more and more I consider making a team that utilizes Meganium as my starter. I'm thinking that might be the way to go, but we will see. It seems like the only way I'm able to end up with a victory against a Meganium team is if I play really, really well. Whereas whenever I use Meganium, I feel like there's a little bit more room for error because of its bulk. and it just feels so easy to use. Frenzy Plant is such an amazing move. A lot of benefits to Meganium for sure. Go straight for the Skull Bash. I get the shield there. Luckily, since my Lapras had a slight energy advantage there, I was able to go straight for the Skull Bash. But this is even worse. The Frenzy Plant doesn't one-shot me, but Meganium's able to farm down even more energy. So Blaziken is obviously going to be a counter to Meganium, but I know Meganium still has some energy, and I just never feel comfortable bringing Blaziken in when I'm at a significant energy disadvantage. So I bring in Dragonair, and he shield baited me there with the Frenzy Plant and got a shield. Super bad. I let this Frenzy Plant go through. Then he switches in his own Dragonair. I'm really hoping this Dragon Pulse is going to go through. Otherwise, this is game over. It gets shielded, of course, and Blaziken is going to really struggle against Dragonair. I'm going to have to commit a shield against this Aqua Tail right here. And it should be in Blaze Kick range at this point, but I was trying to fully commit to farming that down because I felt like that was the only way I was going to possibly win that match, because I know that his Meganium had energy in the back. And even though I resist the Frenzy Plants, Blaziken is not tanky at all. So lost that match. I believe I have 6 matches against Jason here. So decent lead for me. I feel like the way to go here is just go straight Mud Bombs. Maybe try to get some QSA. Going straight for the Mud Bomb here again, this is going to hit for neutral. Blizzard would obviously do an amazing amount of damage, but you don't really need to worry about trying to bait against the Venomoth in this matchup. However, you do want to shield the Silver Wind, and I did not, like an idiot. And then I switch in my Venomoth on his Whiscash. Horrible mistake on my play, but I was anticipating him bringing in Meganium and being able to farm down my Whiscash super fast. So I made a blind switch, and it ended up biting me in the butt. I did not expect him to mirror with his own Whiscash. So very big mistake, and when you play against top level players, every little mistake that you make is going to have a huge effect on the outcome of the match. You really can't afford to make any mistakes, especially when you're running a team that has so many squishy Pokemon in it, like Blaziken, Venomoth, Victory Bell. These Pokemon do not have a lot of bulk, so you need to rely on correct switches, energy advantages, and applying shield pressure. But horrible mistake here. We're just playing it out. I'm out of shields. So Whiscash is obviously going to take me out. I'm down a shield. I know he still has the Venomoth. So I bring in Blaziken to try to counter down that Whiscash in time. I'm anticipating the Venomoth to come back out. It does, and I'm just going to try to get to this Blaze Kick super fast, but I can't even get to the Blaze Kick in time. This is going to be a Poison Fang and get very close to taking me out. I'm able to get the Blaze Kick, but then he switches into his Skuntank, and this is game over pretty much. Luckily, my Whiscash is going to be able to apply shield pressure with these Mud Bombs, but my Blaziken is within range of being confusioned down by that Venomoth. And I am able to get to another Mud Bomb here, which is really great. But I have completely burned all of my energy at this point. And the confusions from Venomoth are just barely enough to take me out. Very close there, but it is. And Blaziken does not like confusion damage at all. So a very close match there. But because of my mistake on that blind switch, it cost me the game. And these were some frustrating matches, to say the least, especially when you just lose over and over and over again. But again, the only way to get better is by losing, and you know, really test your team out and stress test it a lot. I have tested this line of 6, not with Whiscash, but with like Gastrodon and Milotic instead. I've tested it out a lot, but now, what in the world is that? But now I see a lot more Meganiums popping up in the meta, and the more people I practice against, the more Meganiums I'm running into, and it's really giving me a lot of issues. Going for the Aqua Tail here against this Skuntank. this Whiscash. What in the world am I saying? You do have to watch out for the blizzards for sure. And I let the blizzard go through. I was already down a shield there, so I didn't want to end up using my last shield, but that was just horrible. Again, I have not used Whiscash that much, but not going to make any excuses. I did some pretty bad plays with Whiscash in this video for sure. Just throwing the Mud Bomb to apply pressure. I'm barely able to take that Whiscash out with one more Mud Shot, which is great. In comes his Venomoth. Very interesting because these Mud Bombs are definitely going to add up against his Venomoth. It goes through. He still has that shield. This is most likely going to be a Poison Fang. But I commit a shield anyways because I want to get off another Mud Bomb. I know I'm going to be able to. Poison Fang most likely would have been able to take me out at that health. I don't know. It would have been really close, and I'm hoping that I can counter down that Venomoth, which I'm able to, but those confusions really hurt. Just going straight for the Blaze Kick here, but I believe that he's going to be able to Poison Jab me down before I can get to another Blaze Kick because he was up a shield. Oh my goodness, so close. I was one counter away from getting that Blaze Kick, and that would have flipped this match for sure. But he correctly farmed me down, and now he's going to be able to crunch down my Whiscash. So correctly played on his part. Another brutal loss. That game was pretty close, but again, the huge mistake there is that I didn't shield the freaking Blizzard, and it like one-shotted my Dragonair. So big mistake there. Big mistakes being made. But I don't just post matches that I win, contrary to popular belief. I want you guys to be able to see these matchups, and a lot can be learned when you lose. So just letting you guys watch me get wrecked here. So this is a matchup that Blaziken wins, but Lapras is going to be able to apply a lot of shield pressure, and he makes a very good switch into Whiscash there. And I finally correctly did not dump my energy. For some reason, when I'm under pressure and in really intense matches, I end up dumping my energy from the Pokemon I just farmed up a bunch on a not very favorable matchup. But I actually brought in Victory Bell this time, and he brought two things that were weak to Victory Bell, Whiscash and Lapras there. I had not really been bringing in Victory Bell that much because if you look at his team, Dragonair is going to beat it, Skuntank's going to beat it, Meganium's going to beat it because I'm running Acid Spray. And Venomoth is absolutely going to hard counter it. So it just does not have that many good matchups against this team. But I ended up bringing it in this match, and it actually ended up winning the match for me. So out of those 6 games, I only won 2. And in the 4 games I lost, I did make very critical mistakes there. But this is not the best matchup for me at all against Lapras. Oh, these matches are against the Rogue Joker 1. You can see his team up on the screen there. Again, the screenshot there of the team is not his actual picture that he sent me. He sent me a list of Pokemon that he's using, and then I constructed the team based off of that. So that's why there's like a shiny Lapras in the screenshot, but I'm going up against a normal Lapras right now. And it is running Frost Breath, which is very interesting. Ice Shard is definitely the way to go. I can't think of a single scenario where Frost Breath is going to net you an advantage. For example, right there, my Blaziken was able to come in and just totally farm down that Lapras because I knew Frost Breath does not generate energy nearly as fast as Ice Shard does. You always have to watch out for the Surfs from Lapras if you are the Blaziken. I'm going straight for the Blaze Kick bait here on the Dragonair, hopefully get a shield. I do get a shield, and I wasn't going to be able to get to a second Blaze Kick anyways, but still went for the shield bait there. Might have been smarter to actually go for Blast Burn in case that he didn't shield, but I bring in Whiscash, hoping this isn't a Dragon Pulse, but it is. Another horrible mistake on my part. I don't know why sometimes I'll still have 2 shields and I won't use them, but that's all right. Now I have this Dragonair against Blaziken with no shields. Blaziken with no shields is about as useful as a Haunter with no shields, so completely worthless. You have amazing charge moves with Blaze Kick and Blast Burn, just like Haunter has, you know, Shadow Punch and Shadow Ball. and Sludge Bomb, all really amazing charge moves, but man, you are just so glassy. You really gotta make sure you hang on to a shield there. So super great matchup for Blaziken here, but this is a Razor Leaf Leafeon, and even though I'm resisting these Razor Leafs, this really hurts Blaziken, man. He's so squishy that this damage definitely adds up for sure. So I go straight for the Blaze Kick there. And I'm kind of gauging our health there, trying to see how much the fast moves are eating us down. And I was worried that I would not be able to fast move down that Leafeon. So I committed to going for a second Blaze Kick. I won the lead scenario and I'm up a shield, so that is very good for me. Lapras is a pretty decent answer to Whiscash because the only thing that Whiscash is going to be throwing at you are Mud Bombs. He goes for a Water Pulse there, very interesting. Mud Bomb is definitely the way to go. Going straight for the Surf here. Again, Blaziken is a good answer to all the ice types, Lapras and Celio, but you have to watch out for the Surf for sure. So I shield this up. It's only a Blaze Kick, but I want to maintain this positive matchups, and I'm up a shield. So at this point, I believe I fully commit to fast moving down this Blaziken. So I actually committed both shields here. Not super great. He double Blaze Kicked me, which is definitely the correct play on his part because that burned both my shields. And I'm going straight for the Dragon Pulse here because I farmed up so much energy. So that was my plan there, to totally use the Blaziken as energy, and I threw the Dragon Pulse to be able to take out that Whiscash. Super good for me. I'm bringing in Victory Bell this time because I feel comfortable in the matchups it has against Lapras, Whiscash, and his Leafeon. I know that my Victory Bell should be able to win that matchup. This is a matchup I definitely cannot win with Victory Bell, so I make a fast switch into my Whiscash. I'm very surprised that he is still staying in this matchup because this is not a good matchup for Skuntank at all. So I'm committing to farming down, and he throws the Flamethrower. Definitely a mistake there. You want to go straight Crunch because Flamethrower is going to be resisted. So at this point, now I'm going to commit some Mud Bomb spams here because this Skunk is still staying in. I'm able to Mud Shot it down. In comes Blaziken, not a super great answer to Whiscash either because these Mud Bombs are going to be hitting super effective as well. I'm able to stack 2 Mud Bombs back to back, so I'm just going straight Mud Bomb here. This is really adding up against the Blaziken, and I'm able to get to another Mud Bomb here. Whiscash is crazy spammy, but I don't know. I really am clunky with Whiscash right now. I feel like it definitely is the safer option compared to Gastrodon because you're able to throw those Mud Bombs super fast, but I don't know. My team is still kind of up in the air right now, at least that 6th spot. But I'm definitely going to be trying a team based around Meganium and doing a bunch of practice with that, and hopefully that will help me out in some of my matchups, but we will see. I got my Lapras against this Dragonair, and I'm just going for the overkill of Skull Bash here, but this is definitely going to be a good game. Lapras is a great answer to Dragonair, but you always have to watch out for those Dragon Pulses for sure. So good games there. I'm able to take up some more victories, but I've been making a lot of mistakes in this video for sure. So these next couple of matches are against LA718. Horrible lead scenario for me. I gotta get out of there. I switch into my Dragonair because I don't want my Victory Bell being hard countered by anything that he has. So I know that Dragonair is a good matchup against the Rainy Cast Form, and I knew that he was going to switch it out, so I wanted to keep my Victory Bell for his Cast Form. I went straight for the Dragon Pulse, hoping that he would let it go through and I could regain switch advantage. It does not work out. Not great at all. And now I bring in my Victory Bell, which is very interesting. He goes for the Wrap, so he's not running Dragon Pulse at all. I'm able to Razor Leaf down that Dragonair, which is really good. And there's that Muck, the thing that I was worried about getting my Victory Bell stuck against. I just want to get to this Acid Spray, and I don't believe my switch clock was up at that point. It is up now, though. I'm able to get to the Acid Spray. But again, if you're the Muck, you shouldn't really be shielding any of this stuff. I, by some miracle, get a shield there. But Muck is going to resist the Leaf Blade. It's going to resist Acid Spray. It's going to resist every charge move that Victory Bell has. There is that Rainy Cast Form. This is horrible. Huge mistake on my part. I'm going for the Blast Burn here because shields are down, but it's going to resist it. And all the cast forms are very tanky. I'm barely able to counter down that cast form, but this Muck has energy. This Thunder Punch is going to take me out because Blaziken is so glassy. And in comes Victory Bell, and I faint from that. So, man, really tough battles, and I'm not playing the best in this video. But again, I want you guys to see the other end of things sometimes. You know, you don't always play at your best. Some days you have off days, and some days you really have to consider if the team that you're running is super well-rounded and what some weaknesses are to it. And my team, even with Venomoth and Blaziken, still has a weakness to Meganium. Meganium is just such a threat. Going straight for the Skull Bash here, and it lands, which is amazing, because that definitely helps flip this matchup in my favor now against Meganium. I shield that because I have a boosted up Lapras, and I'm hoping I can Confusion down this Meganium before it gets to a charge move. I am able to do that, which is super good for me, but I did commit my switch right there. In comes Frostlass, which is definitely a good response to Venomoth, because it's going to resist the Poison Fang and the Silver Wind. But I'm hoping to burn some shields here. I'm going for the Silver Wind, even though both of these moves are resisted. I get the boost, which is amazing, and all these confusions that I'm getting in are really nice. I finally got the boost on video. That's pretty amazing. That does not happen very frequently. I land the Poison Fang, and because my attack was boosted, that did a lot of damage. Both Lapras and Dragonair are decent responses to this Rainy Cast Form. Both are going to resist what it's throwing at it. You do have to watch out for the Thunder, but man, I've never seen a Rainy Cast Form get to Thunder. It takes forever to charge that thing up. In comes the Frostlass again. I have to watch out for the Avalanche, so I commit my shield right there. And I'm just going straight for the Aqua Tail, trying to put on some pressure here. This does not go through, but I draw that last shield, which is really great for me. I'm just hoping I can get to that Aqua Tail before it gets to another Avalanche. I'm able to do it. Very good for me. And again, Powder Snow does not do near as much damage as like Ice Shard does, for example. So it's very hard to farm down a Pokemon. Great for energy generation, but not really good for damage at all. I believe this is the last match here. Leading with Blaziken. And this is a great scenario for me. I know I'm going to be able to outpace this Meganium, and I can just go straight Blaze Kicks here. He switches into his Dragonair. Here's a mistake right here. I need to stop doing this. Man, this is so frustrating to watch. Dumping my energy when the opponent switches in a Pokemon that is not as favorable. Because now, this is absolutely horrible. Meganium's going to come back in and just go to town on this Lapras. So I let my full health Lapras get wrecked by a Frenzy Plant. Because I'm realizing the huge mistake. And I didn't even like throw a Surf there. I was hoping I could get to Skull Bash. Jeez. Absolutely horrible plays. Huge mistakes being made. This Meganium has farmed up energy, so now this positive matchup that I had originally with Blaziken is nowhere near as positive anymore. I'm within range of a Frenzy Plant almost because of how squishy I am. Going straight for the Blaze Kick. This is going to take out Meganium. I was not bold enough to commit to a fast move beatdown. He has Celio in the back, so I need to just apply a bunch of shield pressure with Poison Fangs now. That's my goal here. Just go straight Poison Fang, try to burn those shields, but I know my Blaziken is, I believe it's within Body Slam range, and that is not good at all. So debatable on whether I should shield this or not. I do commit a shield, and I'm hoping I can get to this Poison Fang. I'm able to get to it, which is really good. But this Celio is just going to town. It still has a shield up. I get the last shield, which is really great, but my switch clock is not up. It's able to farm me down the perfect amount, and I'm not able to get to another Poison Fang. And most likely this Celio has tanked 2 body slams, and it has. And I believe my Blaziken is within range of being fainted by body slam. Classic lag, and I go down there. So huge mistakes being made in this video, absolutely horrible, but sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and when you lose, you learn from your mistakes. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm gonna try out a Meganium team, I think, in some next practicing. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later.